Hello, everyone, and welcome to Odd Burger's live corporate webinar. This is David Vidala from RBMG. Odd Burger is listed on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol ODD and on the OTCQB under the symbol ODDAF. Joining us today is the company's co-founder and CEO, James McInnes, who will be going through Odd Burger's June investor presentation. This will include an overview of current operations, recent achievements, and upcoming milestones. At the end of the presentation, we will open it up for questions for management to address. If you are interested in asking a question and are logged into the Zoom app or web platform, you can submit your questions to us directly in the Q&A module. Please note, this presentation is being recorded today, Wednesday, June 1st, 2022, and will soon be made available on the company's website at oddburger.com. Today's call may contain forward-looking statements that are subject to risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results, performance, or developments to differ materially from those contained in the statements and are not guarantees of future performance of the company. No assurance can be given that any of the events anticipated by the forward-looking statements will occur, or if they do occur, what benefits the company will obtain from them. Also, some risks and uncertainties may be out of the control of the company. Odd Burger has a full disclaimer on page 2 of their presentation. Lastly, RBMG is not a registered investment advisor or broker-dealer. For more information, please visit rbmilestone.com. And now I'll hand it off to James. James, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, David. And I'm really excited today to talk to everyone about Odd Burger and all the exciting things that we have going on. Odd Burger is a plant-based technology company disrupting the fast food industry. And as you can see here on the main page, our goal is obviously to create food that people love and crave, and that replicates traditional fast food menu items, but is of course better for the planet, better for our health, and obviously better for animals. And with that, I'll just get started here. Did you know that you can create a better world by eating fast food? Doesn't that seem odd? And I think this really is an odd concept because the fast food industry is known as being such a detrimental industry to the environment and to our health. And Odd Burger is really here to change that. So how are we going to change that? Well, we're going to change that with the help of our mascot, Chickpea. And we're going to be doing that by offering food that's going to save the planet, help our community, celebrate our differences, and of course, have some fun doing it. So we're on a mission to change fast food, and we do that two ways. Well, Odd Burger operates obviously a vegan fast food chain, and this is obviously, as I said before, has the traditional fast food menu items that we love and crave. And we also operate a food manufacturing company, and these two organizations work together to really create change in the food industry. So here are the two brands, Odd Burger and Preposterous Foods. And I'm going to dig into a little bit more about each of these brands in the coming slides. I'll start with talking about Odd Burger. So as you can see here, this is our restaurant menu. So Odd Burger creates the classics without the guilt. And this is really a big deal because there's a lot of guilt, obviously, with eating fast food. Guilt about your harm to your health, your harm to the environment, harm to animals, etc. So Odd Burger really removes all that guilt and does that by offering a full fast food menu, including breakfast, ice cream, milkshake, burgers, wraps. And the most important thing here is that we do it at a price that's comparable to other major fast food chains. And we are one of the only vegan fast food chains that is able to achieve near price parity to other fast food chains. And consumers are very price sensitive, especially today with inflation environments. Consumers want, if they're going to go out to eat, they want to get value from the food that they're eating. So certainly Odd Burger provides incredible value and obviously a delicious experience for customers. And what makes Odd Burger unique is not just our food, it's also our technology. So how does Odd Burger do that? Well, we do that with something called smart kitchens, and smart kitchens are these this concept that we coined. And the idea here is that we operate our restaurants in a very compact environment, less than 1,000 square feet. All of our equipment is pre-programmed. The equipment allows us to cook food in sometimes 30 seconds and up to a minute. So you're looking at very quick turnaround for the food. And we have self-checkout and cashless systems, and this obviously streamlines the ordering process. We're also developing proprietary automation technology, which I'll talk about in a second. Really, the model is focused on delivery and takeout, and this provides us, obviously lower costs in real estate, lower cost in square footage, and but at the same time, we do have limited seating in restaurants and some patio seating, which we can still offer customers. So some of the automation technology that we're working on is very exciting. So right now we've completed the design phase. We're now entering the prototype phase, and we're working on something called the auto garnish. And what this will basically be able to do is to automatically garnish food on our burgers. And the goal of this is to make really food preparation much more much more quick and much more efficient. And of course, this provides customers with greater customization and higher consistency across locations. So for example, if you wanted a burger with 5 mils of sauce and 3 pickles and 6 grams of lettuce, the idea here is that you could pre-program that and literally get that same burger made at any odd burger location globally. So again, this is technology that we're currently under development, but very exciting things coming in the pipeline. And of course, what are people saying about Odd Burger? Well, we have over 7,000 ratings on DoorDash and at our Toronto location, 4.7 stars. Our average Google rating is 4.8 stars across all 7 locations. So, this is a testament to not only how good our food is, but also how good our execution is from the operational side. And of course, we're very bound to our community, and we really like to think of ourselves as individuals connected by purpose. And our involvement with the community is very important. So we provide financial support to primarily vegan organizations, but also other social justice organizations as well. So this again promotes community involvement and really allows us to, when we do enter new markets, it provides that access to that community that other chains may not have. I'm going to talk a little bit about Preposterous Foods. And again, Preposterous Foods is the food manufacturing division that produces food for Odd Burger. So the products that we create at Preposterous Foods are all 100% plant-based. And really the focus is on simple and clean ingredients. So chickpeas, wheat protein, oats, beans, those types of simple ingredients. So we manufacture 13 plant-based proteins and 8 plant-based sauces. So this ranges from chicken tenders, boneless wings, chickpea patties, breakfast sausages, sour cream, tzatziki, and all of these come together to create the Odd Burger menu. Now we have an exclusive distribution agreement with Sysco, and this is a very powerful and significant agreement because it allows us to distribute our food virtually anywhere in Canada or North America or around the world. So it's an incredible partnership and something that we feel is going to help us to scale our business. So right now we have over 20 Preposterous products currently listed on Sysco available to purchase, and we are now just in the final stages of offering some of our products to customers outside of Sysco. So other fast food chains, other restaurants, institutions, and our goal here is to really focus on some of the more generic products. So things like our beefy ground, for example. So other restaurants could use it in tomato sauce. They could use it on nachos. Things that we wouldn't necessarily use it for, but that has a versatility for other products. And the goal here, obviously, is to sell more food, but at the same time, not necessarily take away the secret sauce of Odd Burger. And again, Sysco offers us access to a potential of 600,000 customers globally and 330 distribution centers. Right now, we're only in 1 distribution center in Southwestern Ontario, but as we expand our footprint, we're going to, of course, be in more distribution centers as we scale out. I'll talk a little bit about our manufacturing facility here. 65% of all the food sold at Odd Burger is manufactured by us. So most of the food comes from us as a supplier, and that's pretty significant. The product line is 100% nut-free, and there's some gluten-free and soy-free products. We really do try to be allergen-friendly because a lot of our customers do have allergies. We're HACCP certified, CFI registered facility, and we've been making food for over 7 years with thousands of customers loving and trying the products. So the products are well tested and well loved. Now I'm going to put everything all together here just to give everyone sort of a high level overview of how everything works together. So the Oddburger Corporation has these three different divisions that drive our revenue. So Preposterous Food revenue, food sales to franchise restaurant locations is one source of revenue for that business. And a business that we're about to get into is food sales to external restaurants and institutions. The other source of revenue is from our corporate restaurants. So right now we operate 6 corporate restaurants. We're currently building two additional sites, which we're in the middle of construction. And again, 100% of those sales contribute to our revenue. And our biggest area of growth is the Oddburger franchise restaurant revenue. So each franchise we sell is a $35,000 franchise fee and represents 5% of recurring royalties of gross sales, comes back to Oddburger as well. So a little bit about our competitive advantages. 100% vegan. Our products are unique. You can't get them anywhere else. The on-demand cooking for fresh tasting consistent food that's made to order. So we don't use hot holding. The food isn't sitting around for an hour before you get it. It's all made to order. We utilize proprietary automation technology and smart kitchens, and our restaurants can operate with as little as one person. So, which is very significant in this challenging environment of retaining employees. We are still able to operate with very few employees while still doing a very significant amount of sales. So again, these are all some of our competitive advantages. I'm going to talk a little bit about our growth strategy. So right now we have 16 locations in total, operational or under development. So 7 of those locations are operational in Ontario right now. This includes 6 corporate and 1 franchise. So we just actually opened our Whitby location and we had record sales at that location, incredible turnout, lineups for days and days outside of that restaurant. Really a lot of excitement and hype still in the brand, and people are just really excited to get access to affordable plant-based food. We have 9 additional locations under development, including Vancouver, BC, Victoria, BC, Calgary, Alberta, and Ottawa. So again, the Vancouver franchise was just recently signed in May, and we have a lot of franchises in our pipeline. So a very, very healthy pipeline, which we expect to start closing on a regular basis. Our U.S. initiative is moving forward. Our franchising strategy is to primarily focus on the Northeast while doing also as well in the West. So we're going to be starting in New York, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, and Washington states. So again, we're really excited to head to the U.S. market. There's huge potential there for growth for Oddburger. We also recently signed a very big area representative agreement for 36 new locations in Alberta and BC over the next 7 years. So the amazing thing about these agreements are that they lock in this revenue stream for us over a long period of time. And this was our largest franchise deal that we've signed to date. And also the most important thing is this sets really a model up for our future territory development. So our focus is going to be on signing these larger area representative agreements, area development agreements, because we work with local partners in those areas, and those local partners are going to drive our sales, drive our revenue growth, help us to manage the restaurants on the ground, support our franchisees in the best possible way, and really set the business up for success, which is the most important thing, obviously, with franchising. So again, we have a lot more of these types of agreements in the pipeline, very big agreements that we're looking at closing in the near future. So a lot of exciting traction on that side too. And this brings us to our expansion timeline. So this timeline kind of gives us an idea of where we're going to be in a year from now, and what is the mix going to look like for franchise to corporate locations. So if you look at this graph, you'll see here we have in the purple a couple of corporate locations that we're going to be finishing off. Those are going to be operational sometime in October, at which point we don't plan on building any more corporate locations. And you can see here on the green, the franchise locations that are operational. Those are we're signing those deals that we're signing now and that we've signed previously are going to start to become operational, and we're going to see some big growth at the beginning of next year in terms of franchise locations that are operational. And then the pink, this is representing the franchise locations under development. So this development is primarily driven by these area development agreements, where those area developers are under a yearly quota of what they need to do in terms of signing franchise agreements and opening restaurants. So providing all these agreements are followed, and providing we continue to sign the agreements that we think we can close, we feel like this is a realistic expansion timeline over the next 12 months. A little bit about market data. I won't spend too much time on this, but the plant-based food market is projected to be worth $74 billion by 2027. So again, it's a growing market, a fairly big market, and a market that's growing. More importantly, though, the fast food market is obviously one of the biggest industries in the world. It's expected to be around a $931 billion market. So even for ODDBurger to take a small percentage of this market is a huge amount of business for us. Some recent market activity shows that there's a lot of exciting things happening with vegan fast food. May 2021, Foodtastic bought the chain Copper Branch, which is they have about 40 locations in Canada and some in the States as well. Plant Power Fast Food in May raised 7.5 million. Neat Burger out of UK raised 7 million at a 70 million valuation. Slightly Vegan raised 25 million at a 100 million valuation in May 2022. So again, what we're seeing is valuations that are very, very healthy, very strong in our industry, and companies are able to raise money. So this is obviously very exciting for ODDBurger and our position in the market. I won't go over the historical performance of milestones, but it's something that you can check out on our deck. I'll talk a little bit about our historical performance. So we just reported our Q2 revenue. Quarter revenue is $641,508. This is a 148% increase in revenue compared to our first quarter of 2021 from the year previous. And most importantly, this is not shown in the graph, but most importantly, we improved our net and comprehensive loss 20% compared to the previous quarter. So as we scale the business, as we grow, we really see the business becoming profitable, especially as we add more franchises. Primarily, the reason for that is because we don't need to add really any more corporate staff to manage the franchise growth. We have an amazing team of people that can handle that growth, and of course, by using area developers, area representatives, a lot of that management is done by them. So these partners are going to really help us drive towards profitability. We had a slight decrease in revenue compared to the previous quarter, but this is actually expected because the time of year, winter is the slowest time in the fast food market. We also didn't do any new restaurant openings in the quarter, although we did a restaurant opening just after this quarter ended. So again, this is we feel like these are great results, especially given the economic climate, and we really see strong revenue growth and a drive towards profitability in the near future. A little bit about our board. The company is founded by myself and my partner, Vasiliki McInnes, and really we have a great board mixture of experience from both franchising and fast food. Our CFO Ted was at McDonald's for 11 years, where he was a financial executive. Michael Fricker was CFO of Bento Sushi, where they had over 900 franchise locations. So again, a lot of knowledge and experience on both fast food and franchising. A little bit about our share capitalization. So our current market cap is 32 million. Share price is about 38 cents. Our share range has ranged from 30 cents to $1.78. Total issue outstanding shares 84 million change. The founder shares are 44 million. The founder ownership is 52%. And recent insider transactions, myself and my wife just bought 1.25 million shares in our last private placement. And obviously we believe in the business. We believe in the future. We want to reduce our dilution, of course, as well. And this is why we invested and continue to invest in the business. So at the end of the day, the 52% of the company is founder ownership. So it just demonstrates the commitment that we have in the business, and the fact that our interest is always with our shareholders. And with that, I'll just end the presentation. But I just wanted to say that by choosing plant-based, by choosing vegan, you're making a better choice for your body, the planet, and animals. And Oddburger is here to be the leader in that change. And we would love for you to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, James. If you're interested in asking a question and are logged into the Zoom app or web platform, you can submit your question to us directly in the Q&A module. While we develop that queue, we have received some preliminary questions during the registration process. So James, are you ready to begin?
Sure.
Okay. How does Oddburger plan on supplying all of these new franchises that are being signed?
Well, that is probably going to be one of our biggest challenges, and one of our most important tasks is making sure that we can keep producing food and keep up with that growth. So we have already begun the search for sites to increase our manufacturing capacity, to build a new plant, to build to extend, and also to expand on our current facility. So the idea here is that once we lock in enough of these area development agreements, area representative agreements, we will have that sort of pipeline locked in, and the goal is to have hundreds of locations locked in, so that we can then, with confidence, of course, invest in a manufacturing facility, a very significant big manufacturing facility. So again, we're already sort of well on our way towards that, and it's definitely the plans have already commenced for that.
All right, great. Are there any new product launches happening?
Well, actually, we just launched our smash patty, which was a very significant launch, and it's the patty that you're looking at on the main page. So our smash patty is actually only made from 6 ingredients, and that includes wheat protein, soy, flax. It includes nutritional yeast for B12. And some seasonings, but basically that product just launched last week. It was extraordinarily successful. We actually sold out at some locations because the demand was so crazy. And again, it's for us, it's all about that balance between indulgence and some simple and natural ingredients. And I always think that is our key for success. We also launched poutine about a month ago, and that's been hugely successful. We have 3 different poutines that are just delicious for people in the US. I know poutines aren't necessarily a big thing there, but we hope to bring poutine to the States through Oddburger, so that's pretty exciting. We still are working on plant-based fish, which we hope to launch in the near future. So we continue to develop new products, we continue to launch new products, and we continue to have a huge amount of success in those product launches. So it's very exciting.
Great, thanks. And you mentioned the US expansion. So when will your US expansion begin?
Well, we are nearly complete drafting our U.S. franchise agreement, so that process is nearly done. And the next step is going to be to do the state registrations, where registration is required. We're still learning a lot about the best strategy for entering the U.S. market. There's each state has sort of different rules and different timelines for how you do things. So. But we're getting very close to establishing a strategy there. We're also talking to area representatives and developers in the U.S. as well. So again, the goal here is to sort of sell large territories, get those territories developed by people locally on the ground, and we are talking to those area developers and representatives on a regular basis. So again, we hope to do an exciting announcement sometime in the next 3 to 4 months about that. But for now, that's I think all I can say.
Okay, great. So how do you see inflation and a slowing economy affecting Oddburger?
It's interesting because inflation is obviously a big topic right now, and slowing economy is of course a concern. The good thing about Oddburger is that we're in the fast food industry, and the fast food industry is really has proved to be recession proof over time, because people tend to choose foods that are less expensive, and that don't cost as much, and that will provide more value. And that's exactly what fast food does. So we really think that we are in an incredible position, being in fast food, but more importantly, being in plant-based fast food, where consumers are naturally trending towards anyway. And with food, obviously we're as our costs go up, where we are able to to increase our pricing as well. And that's an important thing about food, is that you can do that. It's an industry that people need to eat. And obviously for us, we will try to minimize that, because we really don't want to increase prices. We want to keep things affordable, but of course, sometimes we have no choice but to make those price adjustments. So it's just about being vigilant on our costs, really analyzing your costs on a regular basis, and just making sure that you're hitting your profit targets, which we really are focused on. So I think that's sort of how our strategy for this climate, and I think it's going to be very effective.
Well, we actually got a live question about the price comparison to traditional fast food. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, our prices are really within $1 of traditional fast food, and sometimes cheaper, depending on what you're looking at. So our breakfast sandwiches, for example, are price matched basically to other fast food restaurants. And what we're seeing, though, which is really cool, is we are seeing less inflationary pressures on plant-based products compared to, I think, what you're seeing with meat and dairy. So really, I think if you look at those inflationary pressures, we're affected less than fast food chains that are only serving or primarily serving meat. And again, this will, going forward in the coming years, this will be a bigger and bigger differentiator, because we really feel that plant-based foods should be and will be cheaper than animal-based foods. It just makes sense. It doesn't make sense why a chickpea burger should cost more than a meat burger. But I think what we'll see is we are going to see those inflationary pressures affect traditional fast food more than us. And that's at least that's what I think. And if that happens, then it's only going to make us more competitive, and it's just going to drive more business to our chain.
Great. Yeah, that makes sense. Has Odd Burger been affected by any significant supply chain issues? And if so, what has been your remedy?
Well, the supply chain environment has been wild, to say the least. So, we've had packaging disruptions. So, our preference is always to use 100% compostable packaging, but sometimes it just hasn't been available. For example, so we've had a change to, say, a plastic cup for short periods of time. So those are some of the type of disruptions. We just kind of are able to switch certain things. And for us, we haven't had any major disruptions with our food outside of the wheat gluten market, which was quite tight last year, but it has since really loosened up a lot. So we are seeing actually things getting better for plant-based side on the plant-based side for the supply chain than they were, I would say, late last year, which is really promising. So we're just hoping that we don't see any more disruptions or tightening. But of course, it's hard to know what's going to happen. But the most important thing is that because we have our own manufacturing center, because we develop our own food, we can adjust formulations, we can adjust recipes if there are drastic changes that happen. And we do have that ability to really have control of the food system, unlike some other chains. So I think that will be an important advantage in this crazy supply chain market.
All right, thanks. We have a question. Anxiously awaiting for the Victoria opening. When do you see this happening?
Well, the good news about Victoria is we found an amazing site. We are in the final negotiations with the landlord. The franchisee is really excited for the spot, and we hope to announce that site within the coming weeks and secure it 100%. So, providing that happens and providing the permit process is reasonable, we expect to be open, potentially in the fall sometime. But again, every jurisdictions can change with permitting process. And in Ontario, the permit processes are quick. In some areas of BC, they're longer. So, but what the most important thing is getting the right location and being patient for the right location. And that's something that we're pretty confident in doing, because location is so important with a restaurant and with fast food. So So again, I think we're getting very close to locking that timeline, and we're going to make an announcement in the coming weeks here.
Great, that's terrific. And we've got time for one more question. What will Oddburger focus on more? Maybe the Preposterous Foods manufacturing part of the business, or the Oddburger restaurant business side of the business?
Well, it's
evenly.
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they really do go hand in hand, because we can't focus on one and not the other. Because obviously we need the restaurants to justify building, a very sophisticated and very advanced and very large manufacturing facility. So they really work hand in hand. And for us, this is one of the reasons that we're really focusing on franchising and getting away from running corporate restaurants, because as a corporate team, we really want to focus on the food technology, and the food manufacturing. And this is why we want to work with area developers and representatives to again help us manage the franchisees, so the franchise feels supported and they're really successful. Because again, if the franchisees don't have success, then we won't either. So the most important thing is provide that amazing support, get the amazing locations, get those restaurants busy, have the marketing, phenomenal marketing, get the influencers in, get the buzz, get people excited about it. And this is where franchising is so incredibly helpful. So I would say, from a corporate point, we're going to focus on manufacturing. We're going to focus on finding really good area developers and representatives, and they're going to help us find the local partners, the franchisees that are going to help us to build the business. And I think together, we're going to build something amazing. We're going to be really successful.
Great, that's terrific. Well, thank you, James, and thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. Today's webinar recording will soon be made available on Oddburger's website. If you have any additional questions that have not been addressed on this webinar, please feel free to email us at oddburger@rbmilestone.com. Again, that's oddburger@rbmilestone.com. Thank you again, and you're now free to disconnect.